Welcome back to Pokemon episode summaries. Today, I'll be doing episode 42, Showdown at Dark City. The episode begins with Ash and the gang arriving at Dark City, which is seemingly abandoned as there's no one outside. Brock comments on this, informing the others how he has heard about the town before, and that it shouldn't have been deserted, it should have some people in it. It is then that Ash and the gang then spot a mother running with her child inside, indicating that that's where everyone else was as well. They were running away in fear for some reason. Ash and the gang obviously wonder why this is, as they just arrived and obviously weren't doing anything to cause harm, when suddenly Pikachu is attacked by a rock, which was thrown by 3 random children from a rooftop. Ash is unaware of this, simply believing the perpetrators to be some punks, so he tells Pikachu to shock them, as Pikachu uses Thunderbolt on the kids, and they fall to the ground. With Ash realizing they're kids, he apologizes to them, but the kids are not receptive to the apology, grabbing sticks and beating Ash and his friends with them, claiming that they wanted them to get out of the town since they were Pokemon trainers, and they hated Pokemon trainers. A man then arrives and tells the kids to stop, as he takes pity on Ash and the gang, obviously realizing that they didn't know the history and lore of the town, and why all its residents were so against trainers, so he decides to invite them into his restaurant, and basically give them an exposition dump on the history of the town. He also serves them and the boys food as well, as Pikachu puts a whole bunch of ketchup on his food. Let's go, Pikachu, you know that ketchup is the best condiment. Anyways, as a mysteriously disguised person, no, not Team Rocket, listens, the man begins his explanation. Essentially, the town had 2 rival gyms, the Cause Gym and the Yaz Gym, and they were stuck in eternal conflict, as they both wanted to become the city's official gym, but there can only be one official gym per city that's declared by a gym inspector. He further explains that the conflict that has been caused by both of these gyms' desires to be official has resulted in the entire town being terrified of Pokemon trainers and what they were capable of, including random visitors like Ash and the gang, as anyone who stumbles into the town ends up getting recruited for one of the gyms. Speaking of the conflict, Ash and the gang then see it firsthand as the restaurant owner tells them to find a place to hide in his restaurant, knowing what was coming next, as he saw the 2 rival gym gangs meet up and confront each other. The leader of the Cause gang sent out his Electabuzz, and the leader of the Yaz gang sent out his Scyther, and they both started attacking each other. Electabuzz successfully manages to shock several of the rival gang members, while the Scyther manages to cut several of the rival gang members, but in the process, all of their attacks end up damaging the town immensely and terrorizing everyone in the town, as Ash, Misty, and Brock watch from the safety of the restaurant. Seeing the carnage, they now entirely understand why all the residents hated Pokemon trainers so much, as they didn't know what a true Pokemon battle was supposed to look like, thinking that they must all be like this, where it's just gang-on-gang violence, and that's not what fucking Pokemon battling is, bro. It is then that even the safety of the restaurant is intercepted, as 3 gang members of the Cause Gym head in and terrorize the restaurant. It's revealed that these 3 Cause members are actually Team Rocket in disguise, who want to go to the restaurant and steal all its food. They go up to the restaurant owner and demand that he give them everything he has, but the restaurant owner declines, saying that the Cause Gym hasn't paid for any food in 2 years, and he just wanted some form of payment in return. He should know that Team Rocket are broke-ass bitches, though, so they're obviously not going to pay anything, and instead, they reveal themselves, taking off their disguises, much to Ash and the gang's shock for some reason, even though they should be totally used to the disguises by now, and send out Arbok and Weezing to attack the restaurant owner. Misty and Ash then go in to send out their Pokemon to protect the restaurant owner, but Brock then takes action, sending out his Vulpix and having it use Flamethrower to burn Team Rocket and send them blasting out of the restaurant, leading Misty to recall her Starmie back into its Pokeball as she says goodbye to Team Rocket, taunting them. Now, I don't understand why this was like such a big deal. Like, Brock would never usually do anything to stop Team Rocket. Why did he jump in this time? But anyways, I guess that makes more sense than him just standing by doing nothing, so I can't really shit on the episode for this. Perhaps he jumped in because he has foresight that there was going to be a girl coming in who would see it, as a girl comes in and congratulates Brock and his Vulpix on successfully dealing with Team Rocket, stating how good of trainers they were. Ash then jumps in, trying to take credit for it, saying thanks, like, oh yeah, we did a lot against Team Rocket, yeah, even though it was only just Brock, leaving Misty to get pissed off and remind him that Vulpix was the only one responsible. I don't think Ash wants the approval of this girl anyway, as it's revealed that this girl is a recruiter for the Yaz Gym, and she then decides to recruit Ash, Brock, and Misty since they did so well against Team Rocket. Despite obviously not wanting to join the gyms, the Ash and the gang then decide to accept the recruiter's offer, going under fake names, with Ash going under Tom Ado, Misty going under Anchovy, and Brock going under Caesar Salad. They go under fake names because they plan to spy on the Yaz Gym and gain some more intel as to how the conflict started. Having come up with their fake names after looking at the food in the restaurant. However, I think Brock genuinely wanted to go with the gym, as he was still in love with the recruiter. The recruiter then takes Ash and the gang to the Yaz Gym, and they observe all of the gang members doing various training methods with their Pokemon. As for Ash's Pikachu, he still has that goddamn ketchup bottle. He really fucking loves ketchup, just like me. Good job, buddy. I keep mentioning this ketchup, as it actually becomes an important plot point, as the recruiter introduces Ash and the gang to the Yaz Gym leader, and the Yaz Gym leader decides to test Ash's strength by attacking Pikachu with his Scyther. Pikachu is too preoccupied eating this damn ketchup to use any moves on the Scyther, so the Scyther just ends up striking the ketchup bottle as it explodes everywhere, including in his eyes. Scyther having this ketchup in his eyes for some reason makes him go absolutely batshit insane, and he goes to attack the gym leader instead. This causes the gym leader to recall Scyther back into his Pokeball, and comment on how skilled Ash and Pikachu were, thinking the ketchup was a legitimate strategy. But Pikachu just cries in the corner, absolutely sad that all his ketchup was now gone. The leader then recruits Ash to his gym, with Ash being reminded of the reason why he was there, which was to gain intel, so he questions the leader on why he wanted to be an official leader in the first place, with the leader explaining that he just wanted some goddamn money, probably so they could pay off that huge-ass debt that he owes the restaurant owner. Ash responds that he doesn't want to join a gym that's just in it for the money, which pisses off all of the Yas members, and they proceed to attack him, sending out all their Pokemon, including a Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Machamp, Mankey, and all these Pokemon knock him out. But thankfully, Ash and the gang are able to get away, as Brock and Misty save Ash and bring him back to the restaurant. As Brock tends to Ash's wounds, Ash realizes that they probably don't need to do any more spying, as it was pretty clear what the two gym leaders' intentions were, seeing Pokemon as just an excuse to fight for money and fame, rather than actual sport. So they're essentially like all those parents who thought that Pokemon was the creation of the devil, and all the trainers were assholes. You may be wondering why I haven't questioned how on earth Ash and the gang managed to escape from the gym, right? I mean, Ash was being ambushed by Pokemon. How were they able to escape? Brock reasons that it was because Scyther was unavailable to lead the rest of the Pokemon, and with Scyther essentially being the Pokemon's leader, they were all out of sorts and couldn't successfully do many attacks. This leads Ash to remember the situation with Scyther and the ketchup bottle, and how the ketchup made Scyther go insane. He checks his Pokedex for a reason as to why this was, and discovers that both Scyther and Electabuzz are sensitive to the color red, and it essentially makes them go apeshit. Now, I don't know if this is even true in the games, or if this is just a bullshit thing that the anime made up, but regardless, it gives Ash the idea for a plan. Ash and the gang better hurry up with this plan, though, as both the Kaz and Yaz gyms were getting ready to attack each other once again. Thankfully, Ash and the gang do get to work, as they set up a whole bunch of lightning rods and barrels everywhere. These barrels are filled with the godly substance that is ketchup. The fighting then begins, as the Yaz and Kaz leaders send out Scyther and Electabuzz, respectively, and the Electabuzz manages to fight off a whole bunch of Yaz members' Pokemon with complete ease. As for the Scyther, it also manages to defeat several Kaz members by powering up with a sword stance and then using Cut. It's even able to take out a Rhydon as Team Rocket watches, and they get so shocked by this that they fall off of the roof that they're sitting on, which then itself gets destroyed by the Scyther because there's so much fucking carnage going on as a result of the battle, right? So the buildings are getting destroyed. It's fucking mayhem. Thankfully, Ash's plan then goes into action as he sees an opening, since the two gang leaders are standing right next to each other. So Ash instructs all of his friends to dump all of the ketchup, and all the ketchup lands on both Team Rocket and the two gang leaders. This sets off the Electabuzz and Scyther, who instantly attack the two gang leaders, rendering them next to unconscious. Although the leaders were dealt with, Ash and the gang now had to deal with a raging Scyther and Electabuzz, so Ash sends out his Bulbasaur and has it use Vine Whip to tip over even more ketchup buckets, which land on Scyther and Electabuzz, who then see each other as red, causing them to attack each other and knock each other out. Ash then goes up to the two gym leaders and warns them that if they don't settle their differences and end this stupid fucking conflict, then he would put more red paint on Scyther and Electabuzz when they woke up. The two gym leaders do actually decide to work together, but it's to destroy Ash and all of his friends in revenge. So really, their plan backfired on them, because yeah, the conflict is over, but now a new one has just begun. Thankfully, this conflict lasts a lot less longer, though, as it's ended swiftly, as Pikachu uses Thunder, which goes on all the lightning rods, which sends the thunder around, shocking everyone. But so why were the lightning rods even put up originally? Because they didn't intend that they would have to use a thunder attack, so I don't know why they even decided to put up the lightning rods, but you gotta love contrivances in anime. The two leaders are more resilient than all their members, though, as the thunder doesn't take them out, and they try and attack Ash and the gang with sticks. But then a second Deus Ex Machina moment happens in this episode, as the disguised stranger that I mentioned near the beginning reveals themselves as Nurse Joy, as she sends out her Chansey. This makes Brock blush, which, thank God, as it means that Brock finally has a new obsession that's not the Yaz gym member recruiter. Anyways, with Nurse Joy revealing herself as the gym inspector, the two leaders immediately bow to her, begging her to choose one of them to be the official gym leader, but Nurse Joy declines them both, stating that if they were going to have their Pokemon do street fighting, then she would not allow either one of them to be a gym leader. Obviously because, she heals Pokemon that are wounded in street fights. Why would she advocate for them? And also she reasons that the official Pokemon league wouldn't advocate for it either. Knowing that simply denying both of them could just lead to more conflict yet again, Nurse Joy then comes up with an idea to have both of the leaders work together to run one united gym, but only after they learn the true ethics that a gym leader needs, which is being able to care for Pokemon and have mercy on their opponents, which these people certainly didn't. Noting Ash as an example of a good Pokemon trainer after seeing his actions against the gangs, Nurse Joy instructs him to teach the two gang leaders a lesson and basically tutor them on how to be proper gym leaders. Ash goes on his typical spiel about how you need to respect Pokemon no matter what, and just be a good human being in general, but he can't come up with anything on how to actually be a good gym leader since he's not one himself. Just adding that all he knew about the gym leaders was that they respected their Pokemon, and were also often seen as positive role models by all of the town members. So Ash suggests that the two gang members should up their reputation with the town members by helping them fix all the damage that their fighting has caused. The two leaders accept Ash's advice, still calling him Tom Ado, his fake pseudonym, leading Ash to comment on how he should have picked a better pseudonym. But what are you talking about, Ash? Tom Ado is the fucking best name ever. I mean, tomatoes are an ingredient in ketchup, the godlike liquid that fucking saved the town. Anyways, though, the two leaders then instruct all of their gym members to help them fix the town, and they do so, with even Scyther and Electabuzz helping out. Just then, the three kids from the beginning of the episode come up to Ash and the gang, and they thank them for helping them save the city, and state that they now want to become Pokemon trainers too, and even ask for Pikachu's autograph, being impressed with its thunder attack in the end. Ash and the gang then set off towards their next destination as they say goodbye to the kids, and Ash congratulates himself on successfully restoring the reputation of trainers in the town, as now the kids who once hated trainers wanted to become them themselves. Misty and Brock then get mad at Ash for taking all the credit for doing something again, like he did with the situation with Vulpix defeating Team Rocket, and knock him down. Speaking of Team Rocket, they were still in the town, and were covered in the ketchup still. Electabuzz and Scyther spot them, and promptly attack, being triggered by the red. Not gonna lie, it was nice to have Team Rocket play a relatively minor role in an episode for once. It seems like they've been major in every episode these past few.